that here at Amdari, we realized that there is a problem in the tech industry. We noticed that there's a gap in the tech industry as far as aspiring professionals in the tech industry want to build their career and want to gain practical experience. So we realized that people have learned these tech skills over time, and when they go out to look for job, there's this barrier, and the barrier is that organization wants you to have experience, years of experience, and at the same time they don't want to employ you. So my question now is, how do you gain experience if you have not worked? It's not possible, right? There is no way you can gain experience if no one is offering you a job, and you can't. And the job market is telling you, oh, before we can offer you a job, we want you to gain the experience. So it's so hard and it's impossible. So we realized that, and that I can vary that, okay, this is something that people can't really solve, they can't address on their own. So that was why we came up with Amdari. And our mission is very profound. Like, it's simple, but carries a lot of weight. Our mission is to bridge that gap between theoretical learning and real-world experience. So what this means, just like what I explained, that organization wants you to have experience before they employ you. So we want to now help you bridge that gap. Oh, you've learned, you have theoretical knowledge. Some of you studied cybersecurity in school, either at BSc level or at the master's level. Some of you did something entirely different, just like myself. I studied political science in school. I've worked in other industries before, NGOs, political organizations before I came into cybersecurity. So some of you on this call, I know you have such a background, like you are a career changer. You're not in the tech space right from time, and you're just coming into cybersecurity. So you learned somewhere, probably you took a course or something, and you have the theoretical knowledge. You know how to carry out vulnerability assessments using labs that you've worked on, all that. But then, you know, a lab environment is not the same thing as real life. No matter how difficult the lab environment is, it's not the same thing as you working in real life. And this is because a lab environment was designed to be vulnerable. So the fact that you have to stress your brain, the way you will stress your brain, the skills, it's not that you will gain skills, but that pressure on that, oh, we are under attack, not there when you are using, when you are working with a lab, or when you are learning at the end of the day. So that's major reason why for cybersecurity and tech generally, organizations always want you to have the actual experience before they can employ, because they want you to be sure that, oh, you have that, what it takes to protect their organization at the end of the day. So we help you bridge that gap between your theoretical learning and knowledge and the real world experience. How do we do that? We help you, we provide you real life case studies, and this real life case studies will help you to get end-to-end practical and hands-on projects that you can work on. And these projects, you can in turn use them in your CV or add them to your portfolio. So when you work with this, you have solved that problem of, I don't have work experience anymore. You have something to show that, oh, I did not just learn the theory, but I have also done the practical aspect of it. I've practicalized what I said I have learned. And this is what gives you the job at the end of the day. And here at Amdari, we don't just focus on cybersecurity alone. We have other tech we practice here too. Like, we have data analytics, we have data science, we also have data engineering, business analysis, project management, product design. We have the DevOps. Then under cybersecurity, we have SOC analysis and threat intelligence. We have cloud security and app security. Then we have the GRC, which stands for governance, risk, and compliance. Then we also have ethical hacking and penetration testing at our in our department. So these projects do not only or will not only enhance your skill, but they are also going to help you as a user to build a robust portfolio that you can showcase. You can that will help you showcase your expertise and also help you show your potential employer that you know what you are doing, that you've gotten your hands dirty. So our vision here at Amdari is to help people in tech to revolutionize the way they acquire industry knowledge and also acquire their experience. So here we have our founders. We have 3 founders. On the slide here is Efemina Ikro. Efemina has a wealth of experience cutting across several areas within the data ecosystem. So his experience covers data analysis, data science, and data engineering. And Efemina is the co-founder of Amdari and Tenalytics. And through this platform, he has helped over 3,000 people to transition into tech and also land their first job in tech without prior tech backgrounds. So you coming to say, oh, I want to go into cybersecurity, or I want to go into tech generally, you don't have to necessarily come from a tech background before you can do well. I know people always say that, oh, if you don't have a technical background before, you will struggle. It's a lie. You can actually excel in tech without having any technical background at all. And if it has helped people with such background to gain their first job in tech over time. Efemina experience spans data and AI contractor. He has worked as a data and AI contractor in the UK, US, and Canada. He currently is based in Canada. Business data support lead. He has worked as a data analyst manager. He has also worked as a business intelligence developer, management and data analytics consulting. So he has worked in financial services, supply chain, healthcare, edtech, entertainment, and medical technology. So like I said earlier, he currently resides in Alberta, Canada, and he has personally trained over 10,000 participants. So you see, he has experienced it. So it's not just okay. Let me just show you the other co-founder, and I will say something that's very unique to our co-founders. Here we have Adeza Suleiman. Adeza is a technology expert with over a decade experience in data analytics and also management consulting. As the founder of Tenalytics and also is a co-founder of Amdari, Adeza has helped over 2,850 plus people with no prior tech background transition into tech and landed their first job in tech. Adeza experience spans across data science consultants, data analysis business performance, data analytics consultants, and he has worked in sports, financial services, edtech, energy, and automobile sector. And he also currently resides in Alberta, Canada. Then we have Omoumi. Omoumi Victoria Samsi is a dynamic business and tech executive. Like she brings the color, the beauty to everything. And she's also the co-founder and the chief technology business officer here at Amdari, with a powerful blend experience in software engineering, because she started with software engineering, product management, and marketing, and she's also into tech entrepreneurship. She brings a vision, structure, and execution to every table she sits at. Like I said, she brings the color and glamour to everything she does. So from building landing pages to leading tech teams, Omoumi has carved a real career path for herself, and she has also successfully delivered real impact across multiple industries, including edtech, fintech, and marketing. Omomi is especially passionate about using technology to solve real-world problems and also building systems that help young professionals get real experience, real skills, and real opportunities globally. So there's this unique blend with our co-founders. When I talked about the fact that I'm Dari, we are so much concerned about bridging the gap in the tech space. We didn't come about that idea out of nowhere. Our founders have walked the path. They understand how the industry works. They understand how the industry is, and they understand what is needed in the industry. So they knows they've worn the shoe and they know how it ought. So it's not just based on, oh, we are running the company based on an ideology, or based on, oh, we think this is what is happening, or we think this will work. It is something they've said they've experienced, they've conquered it, and yes, they can in turn say, okay, yes, we know this is what we have done and it has worked for us. And because they know that, okay, we don't want others to suffer that, to take them that long period of time that it took us. So let's bring something easier that will help others. So that's why that's why they came up with Amdari. And today, here at Amdari, we've helped a lot of people to land their tech job. So without taking too much time, I will just go straight to why we are here. Why are we here? So before I talk about why we are here, I will get to just know two persons. Then if I continue, I just want two persons to introduce themselves. Just talk about your name, what you currently do, or if you want to talk about where you are, you can.
Good evening.
Good evening, Abbas.
Yes. My name is Abbas Shaib, as it is showing. So I'm currently studying cybersecurity with 3MTT.
Okay.
So I'm from Ibadan.
Welcome. Thank you, Abbas. It's nice to have you here. And trust
I
me,
think
you're in the right place. You're going to learn a lot from this session. Please, I don't want you to leave in a hurry because I have a lot back for you today. Thank you, Abbas.
all right. Thank you very much.
Who else wants to speak?
Good evening. My name
Good
is
evening. Hi, Mayowa.
Mayowa Diwali. I'm a fresh graduate of political science education. So I transitioned to tech recently, ethical hacking and pen testing.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, Mayowa. So it's more like you have the same background as I have. Like I said, I studied political science too. Then I transitioned, started with pen testing, then I went into SOC analysis. So it's nice to have you all here this evening. What are we going to be discussing today? We're going to be looking at the UK cyber gold mine. How does the UK cybersecurity market looks like currently? What does it look like? I think before you can actually say you want to benefit from an economy or a particular sector, you actually need to understand what the sector have for you. So it will use your own anticipation, and it will also help you have a clearer picture of how you want to fix the whole problem or what you need to do. It helps you plan ahead. Then we also want to look at why traditional study is failing the modern interview. Why people are just using the traditional method and not passing the interview. What do you need to do to pass the interview? Then I'm going to tell you what you need to do to pass this interview, which is the STAR method. So we're going to be looking at mastering the STAR method for the UK recruiters, then building your high impact experience portfolio. Then what do Amdari have for you? We talk about the Amdari work experience internship and our special offer for you this evening. Okay, Why the UK? Why now? The UK cybersecurity gold mine, um, how does it actually currently look like currently? There is something called, this is from the 2026 statistic, by the way. The salary, there's something called the salary. The average level cybersecurity salary in the UK are now outperforming general software dev. And this is not just me saying it because I am into cybersecurity. This is because I am saying it because that is what the statistics say. Cybersecurity salary is currently outperforming the general software development salary in the UK. And the truth is, when we want to talk about the gold mine, where is the gold mine currently? The gold mine is in the demand. The demand. So we have about 50,000 plus on field roles across London, Manchester, and the Cyber Valley. And you might be wondering, but then why do we have a lot of vacancies where we have a lot of people studying cybersecurity or have cybersecurity experience? Why are they not filling up the role at all? Why are they not filling up the role? The truth is, people have experience. There is a demand, yes, but the experience the people have, they don't know how to break it down to recruiters to say, okay, I know this thing, but let me explain it. When they go for interview, they don't know how to break it down to recruiters to help recruiters see what they actually have to give at the end of the day. So there is a demand for cybersecurity experts in the UK. The job market is so big and large that, but then people are not filling up the gap. People are not filling up the gap currently. So then we have the prestige, working with the NSC, Tier 1 banks, and global tech giants. Where do we have these vacancies? What sectors? We have the NSC, SC, we have the Tier 1 banks, and we have the global tech giants. These are places where you can actually get these jobs in the UK. I want to ask a question. How many of you are targeting the UK market currently? I don't know. I know we have people from different countries. I know some of you are in the UK, some of you are not in the UK. How many of you on this call are targeting the UK job market currently? I can see Leo, Ayotude. Okay. Yeah, it seems it's only Leo that is targeting the UK job market. Okay, Adewumi too is targeting the job market too. Okay, it's good that all of you are targeting the UK job market. Everything I've just said, this 50,000 plus on field role, this is not me talking about the future now. It's not a future project. It's not me projecting into the future. I'm actually talking about the current job market in the UK. So if you are projecting, okay, if you're targeting the UK job market, I want you to stay. You've seen that, okay, it's not that there is no demand for cybersecurity experts. There is demand, but there's a reason why the demand is not being filled up, like people are not getting into the spaces yet. And I'm going to be showing you what you can do to get into this space. And that is the STAR approach. So how the elite 10% ace the interview. The STAR method. So the few people that get the job in the UK market today, that's the 10% out of the whole 100%, they use the STAR method. The STAR method stands for, S stands for situation, the T stands for task, and A stands for action, while the R stands for results. Search for results. So then how do the situation, that's the context of the situation now, which is the context of your mission, how does it help you out when you want to go for your interview? So first, I want to ask, is there anybody here who has ever heard of the STAR approach? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Means we'll not be really doing a lot of should I just pack and say, okay, let me go? Should I study it a day?
No, let's continue now.
Yeah, that was a joke. Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke, actually. Okay, now the STAR approach, the S stands for situation. So situation now stands for the context of your mission. Stands for the context of your mission. Stands for the context of your mission. The context of your mission is looking at, okay, you've gotten to your interview, you have the context, which is you know the job role. You know the job role. You know what they want, the job role and everything in your hand already. So since you already know the job role already, that is the context of your mission. The job role itself is the context of your mission at the end of the day. So when you get there, using the situation now, you are going to set the scene. You need to set the scene for your recruiter or the person interviewing you to really actually be interested in you. They need to be interested in what you have to say for them to continue with the interview. So let's say, for example, you got into the interview and they ask you a question. You gave a shabby response. The interview can just last for 5 minutes and they'll say, oh, they are done with you and we'll get back to you. The truth is, you didn't set the right scene for them. Like, you didn't give them that tone that, okay, I know what I am doing. And you didn't make them curious. Let me say it. You didn't make them curious enough to want to listen to you. I'll give an example. When you talk about situation now, which is the situation in the STAR approach, let's say you have a manager, you are working currently. I just want to use that as an example before you take it to the recruiter. Let's say, for example, I am your manager, you are working with me, and you want to brief me about something. You want to brief me about a case study or something we worked on. The briefing comes before the actual incident. So when you come to me, the first thing you want to do is you want to tell me about what is the environment itself. How does the environment look like? What was at stake at that moment? Like, you are trying to paint a picture for me to understand the situation on ground. So you talk about the environment, talk about, oh, this is what was at stake at that moment. You get? So it's the same method when you go for interview. You look at, you set the scene first by looking at, talk about the incidents, the environment, talk about what was at stake. Then the task. The task is, what was your specific responsibility in that situation? That's not the team's job now. So let me go back before I go forward. Like, let me go back before I take the pass, so that you can actually understand me better. Let's say the interviewer asks you a question and say, Cynthia, tell me a time where you have carried out vulnerability assessments. They ask me a question. The way I will answer it, if I want to answer it with the STAR technique now, starting with the situation, I will talk about the fact that, oh, there was a time where I had to carry out vulnerability assessment or penetration testing now for a banking sector. I was asked to use the black box approach in carrying out my vulnerability assessment. So the first thing I did was, I know it's an online banking. The environment was an online banking environment. I didn't have any information about what they want me to do, so I used the black box method. So I have created the kind of environment I worked with. Then the next thing I did was I carried out reconnaissance. I started with reconnaissance because I need to find on my own, look for ways to get in or infiltrate the environment that I was asked to carry out vulnerability assessment on. So I started with reconnaissance. Then after reconnaissance, which is information gathering, during reconnaissance, I was able to discover some loopholes in their server or their organization generally. I found some emails that were left open, employee email accounts. I was able to carry out reverse engineering with some of the information I got online. Then from when I was able to, from the information I got, I was able to carry out scanning, which is part of my reconnaissance. I carried out scanning on their network to check for open ports. And during the time I was checking for open ports, I found some ports vulnerable and like open. And these ports were ports I could use to access and exploit at the end of the day. So I took note of that. Then I checked for endpoint enumeration. Some important endpoints were also active, and I checked to see if there was any vulnerability with the endpoints. During my time, I discovered that the registration endpoint was vulnerable at that point. Then I also realized that I could also access the admin. Yeah, the admin escalate the privilege as a user to an admin. So I have just created an environment already. What happened? Then what is at stake? The fact that I can exploit the registration endpoint at that point means that I can actually take charge of a lot of things at that point, because exploiting the registration, being able to exploit the registration endpoint means that there are a lot of things I can do even without being a user or not. So that's at stake, which means I can take the ownership of a user's account without being a user. Then the fact that I realized that I can escalate my privilege from a user to an admin also means that I can take over the running of the whole server and service, because as an admin, I have the key to everything that runs in the organization. So that means at that point, the whole organization, server, and taking control was at stake, because I can actually change my my privileges. So I've talked about what is at stake at the moment. So I created an environment. I talked about what I did and what is at stake. Then let's go to task. Task is the specific challenges you face while working on the project. So what was your responsibility when you were working on the project? I will say something. During an interview, even if you worked with a team, don't give credit to your team. Don't say we. Please take ownership of what you did. Learn to use the word I did. I is better, even if it was a team, because at the end of the day, you are saying that without my teammate, I can't do it on my own. So it's always good to take ownership of what you did, even if you did it with a team. So learn to talk about, oh, okay, the task is You want to talk about the specific things you did, that's your specific responsibility in the project. Then you're also going to talk about the challenges you face while working on the job. So your responsibility can also be that, oh, I was in charge of report writing, I was in charge of carrying out the assessment, I was in charge of, okay, you might not be the one in charge of information gathering, I was the one in charge of expectation. Talk about what you did, and please, when you are talking about, cybersecurity, don't give out some information that you are not meant to give out. Just like the way I gave I know I didn't really explain what I explained in details, but you notice I didn't mention the name of the bank I worked with, but I just told them it was a banking sector. I told them what I found, but I didn't really go into details to start talking about things I am not meant to say, because in cybersecurity, confidentiality is very, very, very important. So you can talk about your role in the task without giving away that confidentiality. Please always have that at the back of your mind. Then the A stands for action. Action here means the early tools and tactics you use. And one thing I want you to know about action is the fact that action is the most important part and where most candidates are weak when it comes to interview. Is during the action that most candidates are very, very weak. And this part where they are very weak is actually the part that is very, very, very important in an interview. So you want to talk about what tools did you use? What tools did you use? Want to talk about what you did? Want to talk about the decisions you made while using that tool or those tools? You also want to talk about the commands you ran. You want to talk about the judgment calls you took at that point. So this is where you need to sell yourself more. The action part is where you need to sell yourself more. And I always want you to read the job description very well. Understand the kind of tools they say they want you to know in the JD. So I want you to focus more on those tools when you are giving your want to talk about your action. Focus a lot more on those tools that they requested for in the job description. And there's one of my mentors always says something. Sometimes it's okay. It is possible that you might not have worked all the tools, but one thing is possible. The online space is so vast that you have access to learning on your own. You have access to learning. You have access to information. So you might not know how to use the tool 100%, but always learn to use the tool. Like, let's say they have 6 tools. They have 6 tools. They require you to know 6 tools. What you can do is, out of that 6, probably you know just 4. You don't know 2. The remaining 2, you don't need to go and learn it 100% before the interview. What you can do is you can learn about it a bit before that. Will learn something that you will be able to talk about it during the interview, to carry you during the interview. Then after the interview, if you get the job, learn on the job. Learning on the job is a great skill. So that's just me digressing, and it's a cheat. People always use during interview to that. Okay, you don't really need to know them 100%, but you can just quickly learn, brush up the knowledge to be able to answer questions during interview. Then after you get the job, you can start learning on the job with the tools. So, like I said, action is the most important part of the interview. This is where you sell yourself a lot. So you talk about what you've done. You talk about the tools you use. Let's say, oh, I've used Wireshark. I've used let's say you are working as a pen tester or an assessment. Talk about I've used Wireshark. I've used But the Wireshark is not only used by pen testers. SOC analysts too, they use Wireshark. You use Bob Suits and every other tool. Then as a SOC analyst, you've used SIM tools. You mentioned the kind of SIM tools you used and every other tool you used. Then you talk about, oh, there was a time. And one thing I want to say, when you are answering questions, please always have a case study, like a scenario, to always back up your answer. They're asking you about tools, action. Oh, I've used this tool, I've used this tool, I've used this tool. They always back it up with, there was a time where I had to do this. I used this tool to carry out so duties. When I did this, I faced the particular challenges, and this was what I did when I faced the challenges. Then that's when you now talk about the fact that you can make the right call, even in the face of challenges, even in the face of, oh, things are really, really tough, like the pressure is on me, but I made the right call. If you face any challenges, talk about the challenges and tell them what you did to get out of the challenges. So everything I just said happens in the action part. Then you now have the results. The result means the high impact outcome you achieved. What does that mean? It means what actually changed because of your actions. You know, it's more like you took an action. What changed because of your action? That's the results at the end of the day. So what changed because of your action? Did you contain the threat? If it was a threat you were trying to contain, were you able to contain that threat? Were you able to reduce the attack surface? Did you find any critical vulnerability when you were carrying out your vulnerability assessment? Quantify it if you can, like quantify everything. I just said that, okay, if you're able to carry out, if you're able to contain the threat, you can quantify it. Please quantify it. Oh, because I was able to contain the threat, our risk that particular day reduced by 30%. Quantify it if you can quantify it. Were you able to reduce that attack surface? Talk about it. Talk about the fact that the critical vulnerabilities you found. You found vulnerabilities, yes, you are telling them the vulnerabilities you found, but you are not mentioning the name of the organization you did it for, because it is not needed at that point. Don't mention the name of the organization, but just say it at the end of the day. Then with your results then is where you now showcase, okay, everything I said I did in the action, it was not just me doing this for doing it sake. This is the proof of what I did. And this is the result I was able to get at the end of the day. And this is how it helped me, or it helped the organization I was working with at that point in time. If you have any question, just jot it down somewhere, or you can write it in the chat box. I will address them later on. So then, here is the brutal truth. Here is the brutal truth. That is finding the right path. Finding the right path. Finding the right path. Why do I talked about the fact that the 10% is just the 10% that gets the job. It's just the 10% that gets the job. What happened to the remaining 90%? Why are they not getting the job? Why are they not, what's the problem that they are facing? The brutal truth is the fact that the 90% do not know how to find the right path. They don't know how to find the right path at the end of the day. And one thing I want you to note is that this brutal truth might sound somehow, it might be controversial. Yes, it might sound controversial to you, but I will say something. It is better you hear it now than hearing it or getting to understand it after like 2-3 rejections at the end of the day. One thing is that thousands of people, a lot of people have certifications. You will see someone that is just starting out in cybersecurity is telling you, I'm trying to write Security Plus, the Security Plus exam. So one of the problems is certificate over competence. So everybody is so focused on certifications that they've forgotten that certification will only get you to the room. Certification will only get you to the interview room, but it's not certification that will get you the job. Neither is it by maybe probably by luck you got the job. It's not certification that will help you to carry out the job itself. It's competence that will help you to do that. So most people focus so much on certification and forgot the competence aspect of it. So thousands of people will say, if you go to LinkedIn, and you'll see a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm just starting out in cybersecurity," but they want to write one sentence. And I'm wondering myself, like, you've never spent up to 6 months in learning, and you are so bothered about certification. Why are you bothered about certifications? Why don't you just focus on your on learning then before you now start saying you want to write certification? I am not saying that certification is not important. It is very important in cybersecurity. But trust me, if you focus too much on certification, you will become someone who just do la cram la pour because you are preparing for certification, and you will not be able to carry out the actual job at the end of the day. You'll not be able to carry out the actual job at the end of the day because you are so focused on certification. Because you are so focused on certification. Let me give an example now. When you focus on certification and you go for an interview, when a recruiter asks you, walk me through a live breach you responded to. Walk me through a live breach that you responded to. Because you are so focused on certification, you read theory, your certification might not even be technical. It might not even be your those technical certification. It might just be you wrote CompTIA. CompTIA is good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's good. Maybe you wrote all those EC Council, all those Google certification at the end of the day. Theory, just mere theory, not even hands-on practical theory certification. You will not be able to respond to those questions because you don't have actual experience. You don't have what it takes to respond to those kind of questions. Because at that point, you will go blank because there is actually nothing for you to give because you've not done it. And one thing that I find so much in the cybersecurity community is the fact that there's something called online certificate, online certificate validation and the actual industry certificate validation. What do I mean? Today, you see a lot of Hello everyone, good evening. Is am I audible?
Good evening. I am.
All right. Please just give her a few minutes. I guess her network threw her out. She'll be joining us shortly.
All right, no problem.
All right, thank you. Hi everyone. I am so sorry. I didn't know I was out of the call. Please confirm you can hear me. Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma.
I was speaking. I didn't know I was out of the call. Okay. Okay. So I was saying, I said there's something called industry recognized certification, and there's something called online noise or validated certification. And these online validated certifications, they don't hold water when it comes to industry at the end of the day. And we new people, like people that are just joining the industry, get confused because of what they see online, and they focus on getting this certification and not build their skill at the end of the day. And skill is what you need to actually get the job done, not the certificate. I am not saying the certificates are not important. That's the industry recognized certificate. But the skill is what will keep you at the job and also get you the job. And one thing I want you to understand is the fact that the UK recruiters value the experience so much. The UK recruiters, specifically, they are not impressed by certifications. They're not impressed by certifications alone. You need to have your certification, but they're not impressed by certifications alone. They want to know, what have you done? What can you do? If you are banking on you to come and be a SOC analyst in my organization, what threats can you help us to avoid? Like, what risk can you divert? Will our company face a lot of problem because you are the one there, because you don't have the experience? So they want to be able to bank on your skill at the end of the day. So they don't care so much about, oh, you have certifications. We don't want to see the certifications alone. We want to see what you have done, not what you studied. Because certification is more of you studying to pass an exam. It does not translate to what you can do. Even if it's a technical certification, it still does not translate to what you can do, because it took you hours and days of reading to practice, or and what you did in the assessment or in the exam that you wrote. So they don't want to see what you have studied, but rather they want to see what you have done over time. They don't want to see what you have watched in that YouTube video. They want to see what you have done, how much have you gotten your hands dirty. So that's what they want to see at the end of the day. And the third problem is the pivot problem. There's a pivot problem at the end of the day. So you don't need another certificate. You need a portfolio of experience, actually. What this means is that most technical people, they have a problem. Most technical people cannot explain why their work matters to a business, because they are very technical. Yes, for us now in cybersecurity, I think we are very technical, and most of us that are technical, we cannot really explain why our work matters to a particular business. You are a SOC analyst, you are a GRC analyst, you are a penetration tester, you are into cloud security. Why should a company hire you? What impact are you bringing to their company? I know they were the one that said we need a GRC analyst, we need a SOC analyst, we need a pen tester. But you need to prove to them, if they hire you, what impact are you bringing in? What importance? Like, what is your value? What values are you bringing to the organization? So some people cannot actually explain this. But one thing I want you to know is that if you can explain to a non-technical person, that is a non-technical manager or a non-technical recruiter, what you as a cybersecurity person can do, or like what I mean can do now, I'm talking about what you, a cybersecurity person, can bring to the business, you've actually already won their heart already. You won their hearts already. So if you can explain to a non-technical person that, oh, this is why you need me in your organization, and this is what I can do to help your organization, you've won their hearts already at the end of the day. So a non-technical person does not understand, oh, ports and blah, you did this, you did that. They don't understand it. Break it down to their own level of, okay, if it was the organization, this is how I would have done, this is the impact it would have had. And at the end of the day, I might be able to save you about £2 million, save you £2 million and in risk at the end of the day. So that's what they want to hear. That communication that you're able to give. That communication will help you. There's a communication gap, right? That communication gap, that is the technicality of everything you are saying to a non-technical person, is going to kill your application, like your interview. If you don't know how to break it down and bridge that gap with telling them what's how relevant you are to their business at the end of the day. So that's more of the pivot problem. So I will tell you now, if you're part of those people that focus more on getting certifications and not actually getting the skills, I want to let you know today that you don't need another certification. What you need right now is not another certification. What you need right now is a portfolio. And even if you don't have a portfolio, you are not focused on certification, you've been learning through labs and all that. I still want to tell you too, what you need right now is a portfolio of experience. You need evidence that you've done the work, you know what you are doing, and you can help an organization to solve real life problem. So not a certification problem. Can you hear me? Are you following? Do you understand what I've just said? If you understand, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Ayo, today. Thank you. So, one thing, I talked about the STAR approach. One thing I want you to understand the fact that you don't need to just learn the STAR approach. I talked about the fact that the situation and the task, which is your experience now. The situation and the task talks is a place where you talk about your experience, what you've done, the environment, and everything you've done, which is, you can capture it as your experience. I want you to understand the fact that you won't just hear about threats. You hear about, in the last couple of days, I would say in this month of, since March to this month of April, we've heard about a lot of vulnerabilities. We've heard about a lot of attacks, Anthropic, different organizations. Once they happened 2 days ago, the Velis, or what they call the company, and that happened through a third party. It was not even them that was attacked. It was a third party company that was attacked, and it affected them because they worked with that third party organization. So we've heard a lot about different kind of threats, different kind of vulnerability. You would keep hearing about these threats. You will keep hearing about, oh, there was a cyber attack somewhere. There is a new malware that just came out. There's this cyber group somewhere. You keep hearing about all these threats. And trust me, how will you be able to help an organization? How will you be able to help an organization? You need the experience. And that experience is what we translate in the STAR approach to your situation and the task. So if you have not gotten the opportunity to work in an actual environment, you will not get that experience. Like I said, labs are not real life. Lab work is not the same thing as you working on an actual case study. So how do you not get that experience? You need to live and learn your STAR approach in an organization like Amdari. This is where you can actually live the STAR approach. So I have explained what STAR approach is and how you can actually use it in an interview. But the truth is, if you don't have anything in your portfolio, like when I mean portfolio, I'm not just talking about in your papers or in a website. I'm talking about you've lived the experience. You can own the experience. You can take charge and control of the experience. If you don't know how to, if you cannot do that, the STAR approach should just be a theory to you. So you go for an interview, and you know that, oh, you need to talk about the situation, you need to talk about the task, where you talk about, oh, this was what happened, I worked on this, I worked on that, I was assigned to do this, that, I did this, I did that, I did that. It's an experience you need to live. It is sweeter when, and the sweeter when you have something to say, not the theory aspect of, oh, I'm supposed to have done this, I will do this, I will do this. No, I have done this, I did this, and when I did this, this happened. You own it because you have lived the experience. I'll give an example. We had an intern in Amdari. She was my intern. She was in my cohort as a SOC analyst. So when she was with us, she did SOC analysis. Then she left. She came back to do GRC. That was last year. And in December, she got invited for an interview for a threat intelligence role, SOC role actually. So when she got to the interview, you know what she did? She used this STAR approach. When they were asking that question, every project we worked on when she was here in Amdari, she picked each project we worked on. She was using it to answer our question. So when they asked her, what did you do here? She will use our project. She was answering the questions with project. She even got to a point, you know, I talked about the fact that you need to make the organization understand the fact that how important you are to them. The reason why they should not let you go and the reason why they should employ you. You know, she now had to bring the GRC part of it into the question. She was not interviewing for a GRC role. But because you understand that, oh, they need to understand that beyond the SOC analysis part, there's a role GRC needs to play in this particular task in case it happens, in case it fails. This is what the GRC analyst needs to do. This is what the journalist can do. And she was giving them examples of what she has done. And she said she had to ask the repeater, oh, hope I'm not talking too much. And they said, no, we are enjoying you. Keep talking. And she kept talking and she kept talking about, and they had to ask her, how did you have all this experience? And are you sure you've worked on it? She was like, I've worked on it, I've done everything. Every example I've given here, I have done it. And she was so excited when she was telling me. She said, I was so proud of myself. Like, so when they were surprised, she became more proud, like, oh yes. And she said, I didn't say anything outside every project we worked on when I was in Amdari. So it made them realize that, you know, it made them realize something. She has experience, she has lived it. And the way she said it, she could interpret it because she worked on it by herself. It was not that someone told her, say this. Because it's her own story, she was able to own it for herself and by herself. And guess what? When they gave her an offer, she was interviewing for a SOC role, right? They gave her an offer as an offensive and threat intelligence analyst, which is pen testing and threat intelligence. And she was just like, she was surprised. And they told her, they said, with the way you wowed us, we just felt like you can do more than SOC for us. And she started working already. She started working in January. So imagine she does not have the experience. She has not lived the experience when she was in Amdari. She didn't get the experience when she was in Amdari. She would have not have anything to say. Her answers would have just been shallow. Okay, I think I can. I think I will do this. I think I will do this. That's not what they want. They want experience. And this experience, you will not. And when you join Amdari for Amdari internship experience, like a work experience, you will not just hear about these threats. You will be assigned to a case study. And like I said, these case studies are something that is different from your lab work. It's beyond your lab work. It's something that, yes, when you start working, it's exactly something you will face when you start working. Then the action, which is the A, is with expert guidance. You are going to learn how to deploy tools and use them to fight back. You know, I mentioned earlier that I'm so sure currently you don't have a lot of tools. You don't know how to use all tools or a lot of tools. But for the action, for you to actually gain experience with the action, what we'll do is we work with several tools. And you're not going to be working alone. You have mentors. Like I mentioned, the person I gave example, she was my mentee, I was her mentor. You have people that will guide you on how to use these tools, on how to deploy these tools, on how to fight bugs. Because I'll tell you something. It's one thing to know how to use our tools. It's another thing to know how to debug. But debugging is a skill on its own in cybersecurity, especially if you are going to be doing SOC analysis. Pen testing too, yes. Debugging is a skill on its own. You can know how to use a tool, but probably when you are deploying the tool, there is a bug. You don't know how to debug it. It will stress you out if you don't know how to debug. A tool you used an hour ago can suddenly come up with a bug. So you have someone that will guide you on how to deploy this tool, debug these tools in case you have any bug issues. Then also how to use this tool to fight threats at the end of the day, which is now the action in everything you are doing in your STAR approach. Then the R, which stands for results. You will produce a professional excellent report that you can show your future boss. So what this means is that at the end of the day, you've carried out, you have your experience through the environment and through the case studies. You were able to use your tools to fight the threat. You are not a good SOC analyst, a good pen tester, a good GRC analyst, a good class security analyst if you don't have a well-detailed report on what you have done. Your analysis is not complete yet. You need a report. Reporting is not the final stage. We will have to say that lesson learned is the final stage. But you need to have a well-detailed report to show your stakeholders that, okay, yeah, I did an analysis, but this is what I find. And you can always do that through a well-detailed report. So how do you write a report? How do you put everything you've done, the analysis you've done, how do you put them into writing? And it's not just about putting them into writing. One thing is your stakeholders will always not be technical. They're always going to be not technical people. So how do you now give them a report that is technical? Like you did something that is very technical. How do you now break it down in your report so that a non-technical person can understand what you've done without you needing to start explaining to them? That's another skill on its own. So that's part of what you will learn in your result. Like you have a method that will show you how to write a well-detailed report. And trust me, this is part of what an hiring manager will look for. This is part of what an hiring manager is going to look for when you are doing your interview. So when you are talking about your results, because I talked about the communication gap of the technicality being easier and simple. So if you can write a report that is easy for a non-technical person to understand, trust me, you'll be able to communicate that same technical analysis you've done to a non-technical person. They will be able to understand it easily because you are going to present your reports at the end of the day. If you're able to present your reports, it means when you go for interview, you can also explain what you've done that is technical to the hiring manager, and they will understand everything you've said. They'll be so interested in listening to you. And sometimes it's okay, they might even be wishing they did cybersecurity at the end of the day. So these are skills you need to know. The STAR approach is very important in your interview, but then it is not, you will not be able to live it or truly deliver it if you have not gone through it. And for you to go through it, you need an actual work experience to do that, which is something we can give you here at Direct. Okay, so this is one of our intern in cybersecurity. He was one of our intern radar. His name is Pedro. Pedro joined the Abdari Work Experience internship, which is the SOC and Threat Intelligence track, and he landed an operational technology job security in the UK with full visa sponsorship. And Pedro got this job within a month after he finished his 4-month internship. Within a month after he finished his 4-month internship, that's when Pedro landed this fully sponsored job role in the UK. So you are going to have access to these slides. You can watch this testimonial at the end of the day. You can just click on the link, to give you access to the video where he talked about how he learned and what he learned at the end of the day. Then here we have a case study. This is one of the case studies we've worked on here at Amdari. I personally worked on this case study. It's called the phishing email investigation and response in an healthcare. I don't know how many of you have done phishing worked with phishing investigation before, done phishing investigation for. Can they with me? Okay, I am today to have done that. All right. So if a phishing email investigation and response in an healthcare, what we executed in the project. In the phase 1, we carried out the analysis. So the first thing we did is we triaged a suspicious email, and this email we gave our interns this email. Okay, let me speak from a point of a specialist now. So we'll give you this email, you triage the email. So you will perform the email header analysis to help identify the spoof domain and also the malicious source IP. Then that's the phase 1. Then the phase 2 is where you talk about the technical defense. So you are going to use Splunk or any SIM tool to track if any users click on the link and also identify patient 0. So let's imagine you are using Splunk to analyze at the end of the day. Through Splunk, you'll be able to see how many of your staff clicked on the email. That's the phishing email that was sent out. How many of your staff clicked on the email? Then you also be able to identify the patient 0. You'll be able to find the patient 0 at the end of the day. Then the phase 3 is mitigation. So at this point, you will carry out, you execute containment by resetting the compromised accounts. One thing that is very, very important when you are carrying out, like I said, this project is for SOC. We did it for the SOC team. One thing that is very, very important is when an attack happens, the first thing you want to do is you want to isolate the affected account, the affected server, so that it will not spread. If it's not isolated, it can spread across everything at once. So you isolate, then after you isolate, that is containment now. You isolate, you reset the compromised account, and you also implemented NCXC standard conditional access policies at the end of the day. Then the 4th phase is you are going to draft a comprehensive report. Like I said, report is very, very important in your analysis at the end of the day. So your reports will be in a professional structured incident. Like you're going to draft a professional structured incident report at the end of the day. So let's not imagine you went for an interview. You've done work on this case. You now go for an interview, and the interviewer asks you, have you ever investigated a phishing incident? So, in this case, now you will not say, oh, I studied phishing. No, you'll be able to say, oh, yes, and you will walk them through exactly what I listed here. Phase 1, you carried out your analysis where you did you triaged the suspicious email. You tell them what you did at that point. You were able to analyze the email header. You're able to identify the smooth domains, the malicious source IP. You explained that. Then after you did that, you talked about further, I had to go take on the technical defense. I used Splunk. Remember again, action. The first one, the situation, which is the phase 1. The phase 2, the action now. I use Splunk, SIMs to track all the everything. Then phase 3, mitigation, which is phase 2, tax whether you carry out the tax now is the phase 3 here. execute containment by mitigating compromised account, blah, blah, blah. Then the action now is you use Splunk and the SIM to track any use and click the link and identify the patient zero. So you talk about what we're doing. So that action will always lead to a result. Your action will always lead to a result. And the result here was that they were able to identify patient zero. And at the end of the day, it now led to phase 4, where you draft your comprehensive report at the end of the day. So you will not, it's easy to just walk them through without saying, picking your answers from textbooks at the end of the day. And because you've done it, there's this boldness that comes with when you are explaining it, and they will know that, oh, this person knows what he or she is saying. So the incident summary, this is the incident summary of what we did. We found the suspicious email alert from the sender. This is the sender. We have the sender, that's the no reply success, accesssecurity.com was our sender. So if you look at this email address, it has a lot of red flag written all over it anyways. There's a lot of red flag written all over it. The domain, it shows that the domain has been smoothed. The domain has been smoothed. Then the subject line is a classic social engineering play. Like you can see the sorry, excuse me. It's a social engineering play. Like you can see the Microsoft or usual sign in. This, I know this is very tiny. The image is very tiny from your own end, but if you get the image, you can zoom in, and you also, the report is attached. The full report is actually attached. You will be able to see everything with this at the end of the day. Then Microsoft subject line is a classic social engineering play. What happened is that the Microsoft usually sign in activity. So, but then what the link did was the link redirects to a malicious site instead of leading to the Microsoft account now, because the domain has been smoothed already. So it will lead to a malicious site. Then this was delivered around 12:15 a.m. on the 16th of August 2003. So this is a kind of detailed learn, like something you can learn at the end of the day, spot on case study that you can learn at the end of the day. And if you know how to work through this kind of incidents, you've gone from being a learner or a theory cybersecurity analyst to someone who have actually done something critical. I'll just show us the MS toolbar. So we use this was where we carried out the email authentication analysis. We use MS toolbar. This was our tool that we make this up. So the MS toolbar, we carried out the SPF. The SPF phase, that's the sender IP address. I'll just explain it. The report is in the slide. So the sender IP address is not authorized to send, was not authorized to send on behalf of that particular domain. Then we have the DKMI. The DKMI had a no signature presence at all. So there was no signature presence at all at that point. Then the DMARC policy was invalid, was also invalid. So one thing I want you to understand is that all these 3 authentication checks, all of them failed. You can see this, everything here, it's in red. All the 3 authentication checks, all of them failed. The email was smoothed. It was not from a legitimate source. We were able to confirm that technically we've been able to confirm that it was not from a legitimate source. Then all we just need to do is document it, take screenshots, because we need screenshots in our reports. You document it, and now the next thing is we need to escalate it after we've seen proof at the end of the day. So we need to just escalate it with the evidence. So everything I just explained now is the STAR approach using the case study. This is the STAR approach using the case study. Then I have the okay. Then again, before I go on to the last part of the case study, again we have Sandra. Sandra is one of our data protection paralegal. While taking their very work experience, she got a job. She got a job. She was in the GROC track. She got a job as a data protection paralegal analyst, and she was actually still in the program. She was not done with her internship when she got a job, got this job at the end of the day. So this is one of our testimony from cybersecurity department here at Amdari, from one of our interns who got a job. Then the last part of the project is the virus total. The virus total. So the virus total, after the MS2 boss, we ran a malicious link through the virus total. How many of you have made use of virus? Virus total is very easy to make use of. How many of you have made use of virus total before? Obu Ayotunde too has made use of virus total before. It's very easy to use. So what we did is we ran the malicious link through virus total. So we documented the findings, and also all this became part of my full incident report. Here is the link to the report. So when you get the slide, just click on the link. You will see my full incident report at the end of the day. Okay, now let's look at your journey from application to practitioner. You know, I've talked about what the job market looks like. I've talked about the STAR approach. I've also talked about the problem, why people are not getting jobs, what needs to be done, and how Andari can actually help you to gain the STAR approach. Like from you just learning about the STAR approach, what we can do to help you actually live the STAR approach. Now I want to look at your journey from application to practitioner. The first thing is you need a support system. Yes, you need a support system, because beyond the technical work you will do, there is a need for you to have a support system to help you out to do the other things you cannot do, which is aside the technical stuff you can do. There are other stuff you cannot do that needs to get you that job. And the truth is, before you get invited for an interview, there is something that speaks for you first, which is your CV. Your CV is what speaks for you first. Your CV should be able to capture your hiring manager. So they say that they will feel like, oh, we want to see the owner of this CV. So if the CV cannot capture the attention of the recruiter, trust me, you will never have the opportunity to get into the room to make use of the STAR approach you've learned. So your CV is what speaks for you first. Before you get into the room, then you tell them or you unleash what you have in you, whatever you've learned over that you want to use the STAR approach for at the end of the day. So your CV gets you into the room, and specifically for the UK job market, tech market, they don't need generic CV. Generic CV does not work. So you need a CV that speaks to the UK job market itself. So if you are using generic CV to apply for jobs in the UK, it will not work. You won't get invited for interview because that's not what they need. So you need a support system. I'll tell you how you get the support system later on. You need a support system, which is someone to help you tailor your CV to the UK job market. Then you need a mock interview. You need a mock interview. High pressure drills with myself, and the employability specialist will help you prepare better for the interview. I know you've mastered the STAR approach, but trust me, when you see the interviewer, pressure can make you forget everything you've done. So that's the reason why you need the mock interview. Mock interview is where you go for interview prep and you are asked the person that wants to carry out that interview prep for you already have your job description, your CV and everything. So through the job description, we ask you exactly, if not 100% the same question, but likely questions that you'll be asked during your interview. You're allowed to make your errors, your mistake during your mock interview because you have not gotten to the actual interview now. You are doing it with your support system. So you're allowed to make your mistakes and your support system will correct you, tell you what you need to do, tell you what you need to say better, tell you, just correct you and point you in the right direction. And trust me, having a good support system that has helped you to prepare for the interview will push your morale and your self-confidence from probably 50% to a strong 90%. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about because I've helped a lot of our interns, and I see after the interview prep, they get more clarity on what to do during the interview. Then also, aside the mock interview, that is the interview prep, there's something called the AMDARI reference. So the reference letter is the reference letter gives you that power you need. It gives you the proof you actually need to show your recruiters that, oh yes, I did not just say, oh, I didn't make up these stories that I did this, because in the age of AI right now, a lot of people just throw their CV to AI and AI just come up with scenarios for them and they submit it. It looks good. And when they go for interview, they are not able to defend what is in their CV. So, but with a job, with a reference letter, you'll be able to say, yes, I have someone who can actually come and say, okay, yes, there is proof that this person have the experience they are saying they have, they've done the work, and they know what they are doing in the industry. So with a good support system, you'll be able to move from applying for a job to actually getting the job to become a strong cybersecurity practitioner at the end of the day. Then this is another testimonial from Darlington Nosu. Darlington got a job as a business intelligence analyst after he finished his internship with us here at AMDARI. So, like I said, if you get access to the slide, you can watch Darlington's video right here. Then, and if you also want to connect with Darlington, you can connect with him too. His link to his LinkedIn is here. Then we also have, okay, so before I go on, we've talked about the CV, the interview, we talked about how to answer the question, but then there's a career trajectory. This is from some of our AMDARI interns. I see some of our AMDARI interns who is a business analyst, Scrum Master, and Agile delivery expert. So, like I said earlier, we don't just specialize in cybersecurity. We have other parts of tech that we specialize in. Then we have Judith Chinaza. So Chinaza got a job working as a data analyst in the UK. And this is not just a mere saying. This was the message she sent to our intern, our specialist when she got the job. She joined our data analyst work experience program and she got a job. And you can see in her experience on LinkedIn, she could add it there that I've worked as a consultant with these people. And one thing I want you to know is that if you join our work experience, you are not an intern, because recruiters don't want to employ interns. You're working as a consultant. So you can add that to your experience on LinkedIn and your portfolio or your CV that, well, I've worked as a consultant somewhere before, and you have proof to show for it through the reference letter at the end of the day. Then this is more of our interns who got job also. Okay, I have to that place I'm coming. I will call you. Then we have Betty at the end of the day. So One thing I want you to understand is that I have shown you a lot of our interns that have gotten job, and they passed through the internship and they got job. One thing I want you to take note of is the fact that what you just saw just now, those trajectories you've seen, they are the golden trends in action. What that means is that they came into the program, they learned the strategy. Not just that they learned the strategy, they mastered the analyst mindset. So you came into the program as a cybersecurity analyst. I know you've had the theoretical experience and all that, but there is a mindset and a cybersecurity analyst needs to have. You will learn it at the end of the day. So these interns, they've learned that mindset and they applied it in a project. Every case study we worked on, they applied that mindset in every project they worked on. And they also converted their theory into verifiable experience. So the theory, using the mindset they are learning, they were able to work on a project and change their strategy to, oh, we now have experience. So they've gained interview success. Through the help they got from their employability specialists, interview prep, CV revamp, they were able to gain confidence, and they were able to also prove their capabilities during interview. And right now, all of them are making a mark on the job. All of them are working today because they choose to gain experience over theory that they know or over just gaining certification at the end of the day. And today they are making impact, active impact in confidence and also in defense. So before I go ahead, Ayo, today, what's your question?
Okay, thank you very much, Jato.
You're welcome.
Something just came to mind now. You know, this cohort is for 4 months,
Yes.
and we just started in April. Now, if I see an opportunity in the market now, and I want to apply now, so on the CV, I'm thinking, I just joined in April, and I don't think any recruiter will want to employ someone that just joined a job and wants to leave immediately. So, what do you advise? Should I rewind, fast rewind the date of employment in Amdari to probably a previous date, or how do you advise on that going forward?
Okay. For that, you can actually choose not to put the actual date you joined, but then you have to speak to your specialist on that. You can have who is your specialist currently?
Aishat.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the GIOC track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just let your specialist know. So you have an arrangement. So we give permission for that. So when we realize that, okay, you need to apply for a job and the time frame is short and you know what you are doing already, you are capable of getting this job. With our support, you'll be able to get the job. So we can work on that to see that, okay, what can we do to make sure that everything on paper looks good enough for you to get the job. And one of the things we also provide there is, I will talk about that, is on job support at the end of the day. So just speak to your specialist and we'll make an arrangement for that. We can talk about how to go about that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So Olayinka, we have this is from Olayinka too. She got a job offer as a SOC analyst with an healthcare in Ireland after our SOC work experience program. Then we have Rene too. Rene got 2 offers as a system analyst after our data analyst work experience program. So the reason why I'm showing a lot of testimonials is because I just wanted to look as if that I'm just talking out of the blues that, oh, we know what we are doing, we can get you the job. I want our success stories to speak for us. The success story, we do the convincing, we do the talking that, okay, we're not just talking about that we know what we are doing or we are good, but rather we've achieved a lot by helping a lot of people get jobs at the end of the day. Yes, Daniel.
Okay, good evening, Jato. Yeah, okay, so I really how do I even start it? So okay, so when I joined this group, I have not been really active. So I just got the prompts now. Work had been so much. So but I just got the prompts now and I decided to join. So and the last speaker, the last person that just spoke now that asked the question said the cohort had started, which I didn't even know it has even started. So sincerely, so I let me just say practically I'm new on this group, on this call. I want to know, I don't know if it's the best time to ask that now, because I'm actually interested in what you're actually communicating now. So I don't know if it's how do I get more to the information you're disseminating now.
Okay, so you get information to that. The person that spoke just now, the person that spoke just now is already in the program already. So he's in our April cohort. So a new cohort will be starting on May 9th. So you can join that cohort. Then for you to gain the, are you in our community, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're in our community, you will gain access to every information you need to join the cohort. And even before this, I finish this my presentation, a link will be dropped in the comments section. So you can just register. So if you want to register for it now. So, but in the community,
Okay.
every information you need will be dropped in the community.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, I know a lot of you on this call have learned the skills, you've earned the certifications. Some of you have certifications, some of you, you've learned the skills, theoretical skills and all, but you don't have work experience yet because I know that's not the work experience yet. So recruiters don't trust you enough to hire you. If you are part of these people, you are saying, oh, I don't have the work experience yet. Recruiters don't trust me enough to hire me. What do I need to do? One thing I want to tell you is that you don't need to panic, but there's a solution for you. Uh, the solution is Amdari. And you might be wondering, how can Amdari help me? What will Amdari do to help me? How can Amdari help me get a job? The first thing is the fact you want to actually understand is Amdari comes in, for you to get a job, you only need three things. You only need three things in today's job market to get a job. The first one is you need to learn. You need the learn, then plus package, then you need to apply, then it gets to job. So the learn, the package, and you apply, and you get the job. So at this point, what do you need to learn? In your case, cybersecurity, you first of all need to understand the in-demand tech skills. What are the tech skills that are in demand in today's job market? So you first of all need to learn one. So most of you on this, I would say everybody on this, but let me assume everybody on this call wants cybersecurity, or they are doing cybersecurity, or they are coming for cybersecurity. So, and in cybersecurity, you know, SOC analysis, GRC, cloud security, penetration testing. You know what you want. You need to learn it. You've learned it already. That's the first step you need to take. Then the second step is you need the packages that comes with it. And for Amdari here, we have Amdari is that best shop for you to get everything. You learn, then you get the package from employability. For us here, we will help you gain, we'll help you with a follow-up like from our employability services. We have CV revamp and review. We'll help you revamp your CV, tailor it to the job you want to apply for. Then there's LinkedIn optimization. Trust me, recruiters will always do their findings. How does your online brand look like? If I search for Rotimi or Dosi today online, what will I find? Will I find cybersecurity? Will I find that you are doing cybersecurity? Will your LinkedIn say that you are doing cybersecurity? So online branding is very, very important. And one of the places that you can actually brand yourself is LinkedIn. Most people don't know how to optimize their LinkedIn at all. So we will help you optimize your LinkedIn through the employability services. Then mentorship and career coaching. Mentorship is very, very important. Mentorship is very, very, very important. We have mentorship every Thursday from 9 o'clock, where you will meet industry experts. You will get to learn about the industry, what you need to stand out in the industry. You get to ask questions that has been bothering you, and you get answers to them live during the session. Then we have interview preparation. Just like I said earlier, if you come for an interview prep, you will boost your morale from 50% to a solid 90%, if not more. Because we'll show you, how did you answer the question? Did you answer it properly? Did you do well? What could you have done better? What can you do better? So you're able to guide you and teach you what to do. Then that sometimes some people get anxious. You get to get relaxed. And trust me, one thing about interview is that you don't need to be anxious. They are human beings like you. Just the way I'm talking to you is the same way you should approach it. You want to talk to people, human beings. So approach it from that point of view. Speak to them and just easy. And you'll get to master that during interview preparation from the employability services too. Then you get job references. Job reference is also available. You have your reference letter. You have when you're applying for the job, you need references. You have references to add to your application at the end of the day. Then there's something called on-the-job support. On-the-job support. On-the-job support is probably you start working, you get confused about your task. You can always reach out to your mentor to say, okay, I need help with this. I don't understand how to do this. I still do that for all my interns. Even the ones that I've left since last year, I still do that for them. We can still jump on a call. I still show them, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you need to do it. And we are done. So what they might have been looking at, oh, this thing will take me days. We can finish this in less than an hour. So then we provide on-the-job support, because the fact that you've gone through our program, even if you are done, it's not goodbye from our end. It's not goodbye. We are family for life. You can still reach out to us to say, oh, I need the support. I will provide it. Then the apply. There is opportunity for you to target a particular job and tailor your CV to that particular job and also apply. We have something called the job board on our website where you can apply for jobs. And aggressively, we are in support of aggressively. You join us this month, trust me, you can start applying for jobs this month. The reason I always say that, some people say, oh, I don't know anything yet, I don't think I have the confidence yet. There's one thing I always tell my intern, that going for interview is part of skills too. You need to build the skill, you need to understand the market. I know we've taught you how the market works, but you need to see for yourself. So even if you feel like you are not ready yet, you want to wait like 2 months before you start applying for a job. If you get into the interview, you'll see the way it feels like, so you know what to expect when you are ready. And trust me, we've seen a lot of people that have actually gone in the first one and they got a job. We have one currently, he's in the March course, GRC. He joined us in March. He went for an interview in the last week of March. He got the job. He actually resumed this month. So imagine, he got in less than 4 weeks, he got a job. So we're able to help him tailor a CV. We're able to help him, we're able to help the person out, interview prep and everything. And the person got the job with the support. And remember the message person was telling this mentor, oh, thank you for the support, the encouragement that you even encouraged me to apply and all that. So we advise aggressive application. I'll help you revamp your CV at the end of the day. While I'm coming, please, I will take your question. Then we also have CV Matchly. So you get to, we've partnered with CV Matchly, and you get access to CV Matchly at the end of the day to use to check how you can check how well tailored your CV is to the job you're applying for. Then, like I said, we have the direct job boards where you have the access to jobs from LinkedIn, Glassdoor, FlexJob, GitHub, and I promise you, these jobs you are seeing, they are coming from premium accounts, so you know that, oh, these jobs are legit and they are still available as at the time it was posted. Hi, Wale.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. You talked about somebody joining, getting a job within 4 months of joining you guys. And on my own, I think I joined in April, the April period, April 7th. I mean, April 7th, yes. So I've been applying since then, on my own. But the rate of rejection has been very, very high, too high. So, and I see that you guys have some solution to that. Um, the CV revamp, my CV revamp, I've not been revamped because I like to, keep the ground running. It has not been done. And you talked about, I think somebody talked about CV Matchly, the
Yes.
tools used to, get your CV to that level. And I've not been able to get it. It's the service I've not been able to, use it for my application. I think those are the gaps that I'm missing. So
Experience.
thank you.
Okay. Please, Wale, who is your mentor?
Yanolua Dokas.
You are not in cybersecurity.
I'm in cybersecurity. I mean, data analysis.
You are in data analysis, right? Data analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everything I've said.
I've learned a lot from you, actually. There's a similarity in what you spoke about and what we do as well. Yeah.
So everything I said, you can still apply it for data analysis. So for the CV revamp, please speak to your specialist that you need your CV to be revamped because you have a job you want to apply for. She will connect you to the employability. They will revamp your CV for you. Although what we normally do is we have a session for CV revamp, but if you need to apply for a job immediately, tell your mentor and they will link you to someone in the employability and your CV will be revamped for you. Then for CV Matchly, if you've registered already for CV Matchly, you need access to it. So there is, I will still tell your mentor, she will link you to CV Matchly representative, and they will grant you access to the premium account.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Please just explain to your mentor. They will do that. Hi. You're welcome, Wale. Hi, Obu Chuku. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly.
Good evening. There's no problem for that. I have a question based on what there's someone that said something about him not being active, that he enjoyed what he heard, which some similarly seemed to me. But I have a question, like based on I've been hearing about the training, like what you said. So I want to know whether is it online training or physical training? Because for me, I like if I don't know where your branch is, I won't lie. So I want to know if it's something that is online. So and also process on how to apply. Because I'm very, very like what I've read, I'm very, very interested to participate.
Okay. Thank you. It's online, it's virtual. So we are registered in Canada and UK and US. So it's virtual. So everything you'll be doing is online. So location does not really matter at the end of the day.
Okay.
Then for registration, Alex, hi Alexander.
Hi Jacko, I'm here.
Yeah, so She will be dropping a link in the chat box for you to register with. Then I don't know if you are also in the community, in our community.
Yes, yes, I'm in the community.
Okay. Alexander, Shebi, will you be dropping the information too in the community for them? Okay, yes. So she will also be dropping every information you need to register in the community, so you will not miss out on anything at all.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So our project, these are our project partners, where we get our case studies from. Although we don't use the actual name when because of for the sake of confidentiality at the end of the day, so that you'll be able to post everything you worked on online at all. So these are some of our partners, project partners. We get some of our project case studies from, like, these are problems they face in their own organization. They give to us that, oh, we bring out case studies from it and work on it at the end of the day. So if you are interested in joining our next cohort, everything you've heard today from me is something you are interested in, it's something you really want to experience yourself. You can join our next cohort that's starting on the 9th of May. We're going to be starting May 9th. So you can register and join the next cohort, so that you will not have to miss out. So you don't have to miss out at the end of the day. So this is more of our yes, Adewale.
Good evening, Miss Jato. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're
Can you
welcome.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
I can.
cool. The offer is very cool. It's interesting. And you mentioned something about certificate earlier. Like I said earlier, I'm 4 months or so into cybersecurity now, learning ethical hacking, and I don't have certificate yet. And I got to cybersecurity before I know the cost of certification. As a fresh graduate, which I don't think I can afford. Can I get a job without certificate? Is it something that is possible? That is
Okay.
my question.
So it depends. It depends. When I got my first job, I did not have certificates at that point. I did not have certificates at that point. And one thing that helped me is the fact that I was focused more on gaining experience. I was focused more on gaining experience instead of certificate at that point. And I didn't really follow the noise on the internet. I am a self-taught. I learned on my own. I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't study anything related to tech at all. I didn't do anything related to tech. I studied online on my own. I took courses online. I did a lot of lab work and everything. And at that point, I realized that lab work too will not help me. I went for internships. I did internship because I was so focused on gaining experience first. And while I was gaining the experience, I was documenting my journey online. Talk about, I said I was not into cybersecurity at first. I was doing something related to gender. I was working with NGOs. I didn't change my LinkedIn account. It's the same LinkedIn account that I've been using to talk about gender matters, gender issues, political issues. The same LinkedIn I am using for for currently using even for my cybersecurity. So what did I do? What I did was, while working, I just at first when I started, I had this dilemma of, if I come out and say, oh, I am not into cybersecurity, will I not sound as if I don't know what I am doing? But then I realized that no, what I need to do is I need to reintroduce myself before I start posting things about cyber, because I need to document my journey. I need to show people that I know what I am doing. So I made a post first. I know I am taking the long route to answer your question, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get a clearer picture of everything, of how it worked for me. So I made a post first. It was called a reintroduction post. I reintroduced myself. I talked about the fact that over the years I've been working with gender matters and all that. But right now I've decided to go into tech, specifically cybersecurity, and I want to document my journey publicly, and people will start seeing posts from me 9 weeks, tech and cybersecurity. You know, I've made my audience to understand the fact that I have changed course. I am not into cybersecurity. That does not mean gender matters does not appeal to me anymore, but even if I want to do anything related to gender, it will not be in tech. And the other thing that did to my LinkedIn account was that it helped me align my algorithm to cybersecurity. Because at first, because I was always posting gender stuff, that is what I was seeing. So because I now made that post, it realigned my algorithm to cybersecurity. So everything I was learning, the day I worked with Wireshark, I will post it. I'll talk about it. The challenges I face, I will talk about it. So I was building in public. I will post. Sometimes I will lose courage, but I'll come back. And trust me, being a self-taught, it was hard for me. It was way harder because there were a lot of times that I didn't understand some of the things I was learning. So what I normally do those times is sometimes I will cry. After crying, I'll try to sleep and come back again. And I'm this kind of person that if I have a task to do, if I have not done it, I won't be able to sleep. My mind, my brain will be there. So if I have not been able to figure out a particular problem, if it is 4 days, that means I'm not going to sleep for 4 days. Not because I don't want to sleep, but naturally I will not be able to sleep. So because I understand that I need sleep, I will always look for a way to figure it out. And that was how I learned, and I was documenting it publicly. I got my first gig was from LinkedIn. I did not have certification. They didn't even ask me about certification. But because of the person saw what I can do from what I've been posting on LinkedIn, the person, I didn't even apply, the person reached out to say, oh, we have some stuff we want to do. Can you help us out? We need you. I said, okay, yes. It was my first gig was for 2 months. And then I worked with them and they paid me and I left. So from there, I started doing different gigs. And if you want to say, that's why I said there is something called industry recognized certification and noise, the online noise certification. The online noise certification, they are cheap, but they might still be expensive for someone who is just graduating from school, you don't have a job yet and all that. But if you want to really talk about industry recognized certification for cybersecurity, they are very, very expensive. They are very, very expensive, which is something you might not be able to afford. And another advice I can give you is that if you cannot afford industry recognized certification, okay, first is build in public. Everything you are working on, post it online, talk about it, engage people online. People that are already in the industry. If you see their posts, don't just say nice, amazing. Say something thought-provoking. Give a nice comment. Say something very, very nice. People notice you from there. From there, you can even get people that will visit your post and they will just leave. But they are watching from afar. They are watching from afar at the end of the day. I'll give you an example about myself. Oh, I know I mentioned when I was talking about my bio, I left something out in my bio. I thought I am into pen testing and so. Currently, I'm transitioning into AI security. I am taking courses on AI security currently. I'm transitioning to AI security. And I made a post recently about the course I am currently taking. I'm currently taking a course in AI security. And the reason why I made that post was because I want people to understand I'm not just a traditional pen tester or a traditional SOC analyst or a traditional cybersecurity analyst. I have something else I'm doing, which is AI security. I wanted people to know, one. Then secondly, I wanted to something that will motivate me to study more because the courses are hard. I don't know maths. I didn't do anything mathematical. And most of the things I'm learning now, it's mathematical. But because I know that, because I have started talking about it in public, I need to keep up. This will motivate me to learn. The days I will get overwhelmed, I'll be motivated. So I made a post on Sunday about my transition into AI security. I changed everything on my LinkedIn bio to reflect AI security. And trust me, I've been doing this since last year. I've been learning since last year. I'm currently building a tool for AI pen testing because I need the tool to learn. Yeah, I saw there was a problem. I needed a tool to do something. The tool is not available. Then I decided to build my own tool, which is something I'm doing. So I made a post on Sunday about my transition into AI security and what I am currently doing in AI security because I'm taking. If I tell you that from Sunday to today, do you know how many recruiters in AI security have visited my page? Because of that one single post. So a lot of people in AI security, I'm talking about recruiters in AI security now. A lot of them have visited my page since Sunday till this day. Some connected with me. They didn't say anything. So just interacted with my post and left. So they have noticed me already. They might not interact with me in the next 6 months or 1 year. But one thing is certain, they have seen where I have started. So maybe in the next 6 months, I start talking about my tool. I've not actually said anything about my tool in public before. This is the first time I'm talking about it. When I now come back and say, oh, I built this tool because I needed something for AI red teaming, and this is what I'm working on. They knew where I started from. They now know where I've gotten to. That will also make them have confidence in me to say that, oh, this person is worth employing. You get? This person is worth employing. This person is worth banking on. So that's how opportunities come. That's how job opportunity come. Show them I can do it. At that point, they will not be asking for certification. They will know that you joining the organization is value. You are bringing value into the organization. So build in public is very important. Then secondly, if you cannot afford certifications currently, connect with more people in cybersecurity. The algorithm somehow will just align with you and you can get vouchers. People give out vouchers a lot on LinkedIn and on X. Mostly Decembers. In Decembers, during festive period, organizations give out vouchers. You can get people, individuals give out vouchers too. They give out free vouchers. Organizations give about 90% off for cybersecurity certifications. You can get as much as 90% off. Something like EJPT, OSCP, you can get like 75% or 70% off during festive period. So you can also target that okay, vouchers, and that for you to be able to see this voucher, it will depend on how much you can interact with people. I did CASA in December, class certified API security analyst. When I did my certification, I didn't even see the voucher. Someone else has been seeing. The person knew that, oh, this person is going to AI security. She's doing API security because I started my AI security courses with API. So the person knew I was doing it. We don't really interact. We interact once in a while on LinkedIn. She knew I was doing it. So she was one that saw the post. And the next thing was she tagged me in the post and said, oh, because the post said, tag someone you feel needs this voucher. She tagged herself and she tagged me to the post that, oh, this person needs this voucher and all that. And I got the voucher. That voucher cost, the exam cost about, I think, $350 or so. I got the voucher. I didn't have to pay for it. And imagine that person did not know that, oh, I was doing that. So that's how you connect. You connect with the right people. You build the public. Building the public will help you realign your algorithm. Like, it will help people to see what you can do. And they begin to trust you and back on you or your skills. I don't know if that actually answered your question. Adewale.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for taking your time to.
You're welcome. Okay, so like I said, you can join our next call that's starting on May 9th. The price currently is we're giving out 30% discounts. Instead of £500, you are going to pay £390, which is 30% discount. And this is for our 4 months work experience program. This is for 4 months. Then you can also pay in installments. You can also pay in installments. So the installment payment is, you can either pay £99, £145, and you can pay £145 too at the end of the day. And if you want to pay for the whole 4 months at once, instead of paying £390, you can pay £350. I thought all of you would be clapping for me now. That's a lot. I'm not receiving any clap. Thank you. So that's a lot. So instead of you to pay, as far that we've even given out 30% already. So if you decide to say I want to pay for the whole 4 months at once, we will still bring it down to $350 for you. And this is because we understand things, how things are currently, and we really know how much people really want to come into the tech space. And this is just, we give it back to the community. This is our own way of saying, we see you, we know what you desire, we know how hard it is for you to have gotten to this point. And this is a way of saying that we want to support your dream, we want to support your journey. So this is Amdari's gift to you all. And I think we've done a lot. And trust me, if you join the program today, you'll be making the most amazing decision. It's a decision you will not regret, because it's something that will really, really pay off for you at the end of the day. Like I said, you don't need to be like me, who will get lost when she's learning because I don't have anybody to ask questions. You don't need to be like me, who will cry herself, or I need to stay up awake for days because I'm trying to figure things out on my own. You can learn faster because you have someone who will guide you, and you will get your experience better and faster. Unlike me, what took me a year plus, you will learn it within a short period of time. Trust me, it is faster when you have someone to guide you. If you bring your seriousness and someone else showing you the path, the whole experience will be so smooth for you. This is another of our one of our interns before, Jerry. Jerry too got a job with this internship experience. Chidi, I'll take your question when I'm done, please. Then we also have this is Jerry's LinkedIn account, LinkedIn. You can see his experience in his LinkedIn as data analyst for Zontatia Kandari. So he got a job in Canada as a data analyst, and still got another reference from us too. Then you can get a free portfolio on our website. So we have a portfolio page on our website, and you are going to have lifetime access to this portfolio. Even after the program, you have lifetime access to this portfolio at the end of the day. So this is what the portfolio looks like. You can showcase your projects that you completed during the internship, the link of work directly into your CV or LinkedIn. You can continuously update this portfolio, even if you are no longer in the program. That as you are growing, as you are getting more projects, you can continuously update this portfolio, and you are going to get a lifetime access to it anytime, any day. So yeah, thank you so much for joining and listening to what I have to say. Any questions so far? Is there any question?
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, Chidi.
Yeah, okay. Sorry that I joined late. I'm just coming back. The first question is, okay, like me, will use myself as an instance. Although mine is not actually a cyber security, it's actually a business and a data analysis. Yeah, and why I am here is because one, I need the job experience. Two, I need the portfolio, and I also need placements. Now, are these three things what a company it can offer to me?
Okay, you need experience. Experience we can provide for you. I don't know if you were here when I was showing there. I know you said you are not in cybersecurity
Yeah.
data, but I showed one of the case studies we worked on. That's part of the experience. And it's the same thing for data too. You get experience. You need your CV to be reviewed. That's the second thing. You need to see your CV to be revamped, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you get the experience, you get CV revamped. But by placement, are you saying that will provide a company you can work with?
No, even if you don't provide, because of the way the system works, but assisting in getting
Applying.
placements.
Okay, we have a job board where you can easily apply for jobs.
Okay.
So we have a job board you can easily apply for jobs, and we'll help you tailor your CV to that job. Just let your mentor know, oh, I want to apply for this job. I need my CV tailored for this job. Then you will apply. Then you can easily get job vacancies on the job board. Then there's also interview prep for you in the program. So for experience, you are going to gain it. For your CV revamp, you gain it. For you to easily get jobs, you can apply to, you will get that. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Chidi.
Yeah. So how flexible is the training? Is it like a weekend or like?
Okay, it depends on the arrangement everybody in the cohort have with the mentor. One thing is sure, we always consider timing for everybody because we want to carry everybody along. So you agree on a particular time where you have your drop-in session. We have drop-in sessions twice a week. You agree with your mentor on the flexible time that will work for everybody. You can be having your drop-in session. Then aside drop-in session, we have something we call office hour. Office hour is a case whereby you're working on your case study and you don't need to wait for your drop-in session to ask your question. You can book an office hour as many times in a day, and your mentor will join you and trash the question you have, put you through on what's the blockers and all. So that's how it works. We always consider your work and the timing, and everything's going to be virtual.
Okay. Thank you. Well, that's all from me.
All right, you're welcome. Hi, is there any other question? Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. It seems like I'm the one asking. Okay. Okay. Now, since my interest is on data analysis, I don't know how to put the question. Is it still possible for me to join in the two because there is no own knowledge that is a waste, and there is no experience that is a waste? I'm just asking, like, it's just a random question. Hello?
I think she has gone off.
Okay, I thought as much.
Hello, Chidi. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, so I think her network threw her out. So she'll join back shortly. So can you please ask the question again?
No, I was asking her, since my interest is in a data and a business analysis, I'm asking like this a cyber security, is it like something I can actually do the two? Because no all knowledge is a waste and no experience too is a waste. I'm just asking, like it's just like a random question.